All right, this is Tim from TTT Enterprises. Going over some things about the Amazon home services and anybody that's participating. This particular lesson is going to be on laptop screen replacement. And I'm also going to go over some of the things of how I'm communicating with you guys. And I have the screen share that is up. Can you guys see it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. This is what I'm using right now to basically send out a broadcast email when you guys get stuff. If I get a job on Amazon, which is in here, when you sign in, this is what you'll see. And if you get the app, it's live. When you do the app on your devices, you have a live. It'll actually give you a notification of when a job is available. Now, the way this goes is they make it available, and then we have to claim it. So it's like I got my phone pretty much on 24/7 just to try to claim jobs. I've got so far we've got I've done 2 jobs in the last about week and a half, so it's not too bad. And I got 2 5-star reviews, so that's where we want to keep things. Is my thing is just everything I can do to please that customer because it's going to represent the company. All right, so that's mainly what this is. And if you guys are going and you grab a job, you're basically representing my reputation when it comes to that. Now, there's another part of this. I send them into this is one thing where they do a review on Amazon. There's another thing where I send them a review from my business. I send them through a cycle. It's reputation management. So if you notice in Facebook and all these other places, I'm getting more reviews because I have a guy that's doing he's doing all this stuff on that side of the business. He's doing the reputation management, the web design, advertising, and he's actually doing it for my company. So anybody that wants that, he's available for that. It's actually in the website. All right, so we're in there, and you'll see if a job comes up, then we grab it. It'll come up in here, and once it comes up, you'll see one job to claim or 2 jobs to claim. If you see it come up in your app and you run it on and you feel comfortable with go ahead and claiming it, we can go ahead and assign you as the technician because that's the next step. So the next step would be for me to go in and assign the task to one of the people that wants it. All right. Right now, like I haven't assigned this to anybody. This is coming up Friday. It's a screen replacement, but I can do it because I'm anything I claim right now I'm going to be able to do. Is just that if anybody wants to do it, I'm okay with letting other people do it. The other thing is getting into iFixit. There's actually a company set up in there, and they approved me really quick. And anything in there we can buy. Here's the members we got so far. A few of them, and then there's a couple that like this lady is from the prison Bureau of Prisons. She's actually a computer technician out there. So, all right, if you ever have to look up a screen, all right, this is one thing. Here's something I think I ordered actually a couple 2 or 3 weeks ago. And you see how expensive this is. A MacBook, all right? So the one thing about ordering these screens is you really got to match up the part. And that's one of the things about but we're not on the Amazon thing. We're not ordering the part. The customer is. So guess what? They could get it wrong. So if you get out there and they got the wrong screen, I want to help them get the right screen, okay? And Amazon is real good about returning items. So we could get a return going right away, and just call me if you have that issue ever happens. Just call me, and we'll get the right screen. We'll show them where to purchase the right screen. And then basically they could either still use the Amazon installation service, or they can just call us, because when we use Amazon, they take a percentage. But to me, that's fine, because they're advertising to millions of people in the Atlanta area with on Amazon. On any part they buy, you see this right here where it says include installation. That's how we're getting jobs on Amazon, is them clicking on that and adding the installation, and then we claim that job. And it takes about 10 minutes after we claim it, and we either get it or we don't. All right, so enough of that. Got the iFixit, got the Amazon, got the group. The group in this is Microsoft. I use Office 365 Business, a Pro thing. It's like $10 a month, but I get so much stuff in here. I mean, there's so many things I can use, and this is basically all in the cloud. I can go in here and make an Excel or whatever. In this group, though, we're going to have a file area and a calendar area. So you'll see, I'll put that other job on the calendar here. So if you don't have access to that, I think you can sign in with your Microsoft account if you have a live account or Outlook.com account. Hopkins, was you able to get in to see the files and stuff?
I got in, but I don't remember if I saw the files.
Well, we'll work on that part, but this is going to be another area where this video, this recording is going to be saved. So what I want to do is get into it right away. I don't want to take, a whole lot of time, basically 30 minutes or so, to kind of demonstrate on how to change out a laptop screen. MacBooks, you really need to get into those. They do have some stuff in iFixit. If you put in, have you guys been in there and seen? There's a lot of products that aren't in there. So the one thing we can do is to boost our reputation. We actually create the teardown or disassembly guide for whatever item it is, whatever laptop it is, and then we add that to our reputation. So you see here, you can build reputation. This shows up in a Google search when people search for local computer repair. iFixit shows up. Have you ever seen it? If you ever looked on say Computer Repair Atlanta, you'll see iFixit pop up like on the first page. So if I can't get my business on the first page in Atlanta, I'm in iFixit now. So if we build a reputation there, then that'll help us get more customers. Changing out a laptop screen, I know you guys have probably done it that are in the meeting now, but for people that haven't, it's really actually I consider it one of the easiest jobs to do on a laptop. On a laptop, not on a Mac. A Mac takes probably 30 minutes longer than a regular laptop. But for a laptop, a regular PC, HP, Dell, it's actually a pretty easy job. So you can actually be in and out of a job in under 30 minutes. You should be. If you ever get one of these jobs and we get them about 3 to 4 days, or sometimes 5 or 6 days before the job comes up. We can get the guide. We can go over it. I got about 15 laptops that are just kind of parts laptops. So I might have that laptop, and we can go over it if you need me to. Just call me and you take the job. And that's to anybody that watches this video. And if you want a demonstration of how to do it, so that you don't go in there looking like you don't know what you're doing. And that's the biggest thing, is it makes the customer more comfortable if you get in there and know what you're doing. The other thing is tools. If you need tools, or you can get this stuff in Amazon, but we get a discount in iFixit. I haven't bought anything from them yet, but most of my tools, I've gotten them at different places, Amazon, even Home Depot and Walmart. So get you a good set of tools. You need the the type that I use, a kit about like this, is a pretty good one for laptop screens, and it's got the hex, the different sizes that you would need even on a Mac. So something like this, a little toolkit would work for changing out a laptop screen. The other thing is to have some type of plastic or something to a pry tool, what they call a pry tool. Can you guys see that? That's a pry tool, and like here's a little suction thing. On Macs, you might want to have some of that stuff. And then something like a guitar pick. Even if you see guitar picks are pretty good. And if you don't have that, you know, maybe get you if you see that in the store somewhere, get you, you know, you can buy a credit card. If you don't have, there's always a backup. If you got some type of card you can use, don't use metal for pry tools. You know, give me, since you guys are some experts, I know you, give me an example of why you wouldn't want to use anything metal for a pry tool.
Damage the casing, ESD.
Damage he said damage the case, or damage, because most of these laptops are plastic now. They're made out of just plastic, and actually that's what makes them break easy. And so, you know, that's why you don't want to use metal. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the camera over to where I can demonstrate. I got some screens that I want to show you guys, and then how to look at the part number on the screen. And there's about 3 laptops. I'm only going to do one, but just to show you the difference in a screen replacement, there are some differences. So right now I'm going to turn off the screen share, and you guys, what you want to do is blow up my video, make sure it's the priority screen. And let me move this over here. And then I'm gonna pause my video for a second and move my camera. So stand by a second. I didn't want to move.
Just get ready to ask him if there's any way to make the camera screen bigger. But he changed it. That was good.
All right, but you got my. All right.
I was like, how are we going to see that?
You've got my camera as the primary camera, right?
Correct.
Check.
All right. So, all right. So what I got, like I said, here's this is the set of tools. These probably aren't these aren't real expensive. I'm going to invest in some expensive ones. But you got your basic Phillips head, flat heads. You got your the hex type heads, and then you have these torque, the torque ones. They're it's like a star. Those are the type you'll need for like Macs. All right, the other thing I have is I know it looks like an ashtray, but I don't smoke. This is a magnetic tray. I have a big problem with losing screws, so I like these are awesome. I think I got these at Micro Center. They were really pretty inexpensive. All right, so what we're looking at is getting screens. All right, this is a screen. Now, to get the actual part number of a screen, you need to look at the back of it. I don't even know what computer this screen goes to, but I know that the part number is here. Inside this, there's certain, gives you a clue. This is most likely a 14-inch screen. That's an example. This is an older type screen that has the inverter at the bottom. You're not going to see a lot of these anymore. I'll show another one. These are most of these are probably cracked. But there's If you notice that one, it says LP 15, so that's probably a 15-inch screen. All right. And if you hold a screen up, I don't know if you can see this, but you see the discolorization in the screen right there in the top corner right here.
Mm-hmm.
This screen is cracked, or they did something to where it caused it to break the LCD, and so you'll get all kinds of descriptions on what the people are seeing in their screen, and that it's broke, cracked. All right, so the first one I'm gonna look at is probably I'm gonna look at one of the harder ones, which would be this one. All right, what you're gonna do, pretty much you have a bezel, all right, that covers the screen right around the edge. Now on this particular computer, this is a Sony Vail. I guarantee you it's got screws that are holding down the bezel, which is underneath these little rubber bumper things. So I would use something to pry those out. Grab something that's not good, and then you would remove the rubber bumpers, and you'll have a screw under there. And I'm seeing this in all four corners. So you'd want to go to all four corners. Now you want to save the bumper so that you can put it back. And there's a sticky part on it. So make sure you save the bumper. I don't know. Sometimes I'll stick it on the laptop somewhere just to make sure I got it. All right. So that's the type of screen. This is Sony Vail. So you got screws to remove. All right. Another one. This is an HP. All right. Now, you would think there's no screws, right? On HPs, a lot of times they might only have 2 screws, and I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Well, I can't get it to focus, but I see a little cut. There's a little cover right here. Right here, and now you can kind of see it. You see the top part of it right there. All right, that is covering. I would think that's probably covering a screw. And these aren't rubber. This is more like a plastic, a little plastic piece that goes over the screw. And I'm trying to get it out. You're going to want to get that off. Yeah, it's rubber. All right. So this one is rubber. But there's nothing under it, so there's no screw there. All right. I thought there might have been a screw. A lot of times I run into them, and make sure there's not a screw there before you try to pop the bezel off. Most bezels, on the bezel part, what you want to do is start peeling, like from the inside of the screen, and you start popping it out. And you'll hear it kind of give way. Sometimes it's better to start in the corner and pop it out. But you can kind of hear it kind of give, and this is what you would get. It would start kind of coming apart. And just gently do it, because you don't want to, there's these little plastic things that catch on the other plastic, and you don't want to break those. They're little notches that catch in the plastic. You don't want to break those. All right, that's an HP. Thought it had screws in it, but it doesn't. All right, here's a Dell. On this one, and this is one I'm going to take all the way apart. You can see it. I don't see any indication that there's any screws or anything covering the screws at all. So this one I would say would be probably the easiest one to do. I would start up in the corner and start prying it off, and it's really, really pretty simple to get it off. All right. That's how simple it is. All right. So there's your screen now. Now you're starting to see that it basically it's the same thing as one of the screens I had. And so now we got to deal with taking out a couple screws. You got screws that hold the back on, and then you have the hinges on the side. And that's kind of a whole nother class, but it's in the same. Actually, I got a hinge replacement coming up. I guess it doesn't come up till February in Amazon, but it's simply a hinge replacement, and it counts as a screen replacement. So it's the same price. I guess that's how they don't really know. So, I mean, when the cost of a Mac is the same cost as one of these, that's ridiculous. But I don't think they completely know what some of this stuff takes. But they'll figure it out eventually. All right. So what you would do, the one thing you want to do before you start working on anything is remove, for safety reasons, and the power of the computer is removed. At least remove the battery and remove the power. Anything that's plugged in, go ahead and take it out. All right, once you get the bezel off, you're going to take out the screws that you see, and you just take them out. Make sure you know where they go, especially if they're different lengths. So either put them in the tray a certain way, like line them up. They even have these little magnetic little thing you can have, a mat. It has little squares on it, and you can kind of line things up to where you know it goes on the computer. So you take the screws out. I'm going to put that one on the right-hand side, and then you're going to have a couple down here. And once you get to the point, there's three screws in each corner. And they're all the same size, so you don't have to put those like in a different spot, but they look like they're all going to be the same size, so that makes it pretty easy. If the screw is shorter, and then you try to put a screw in that's longer into that particular screw hole, it's gonna bottom out, and it's not going to tighten up. So you'll know if you end up putting the wrong screw, especially a screw that's longer is going into a shorter hole, it's gonna bottom out. It's not going to tighten down like you want it to. All right, so I got all the corners off, and then basically the back side now can be popped off. All right, I feel some tape. All right, so we have a camera cable that's kind of glued in, and got some adhesive there. So you'll have at least one plug. This particular screen, it has one plug that goes to the screen itself, which is right here. And this would be the probably the camera cable, which was stuck on here. It has a little plug. You can just pull that out and maybe put it down here. But you're going to replace this. So I guess I should have put my phone on. Okay. You're going to replace this particular piece right here, which is the screen. So the other part of it is the main connector to the screen. This actually runs to the motherboard. This is your video cable. It's got some tape here. You want to try to get the tape up so that it still has some adhesive on it, so that once you pull this out, I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah. Once you pull it out, then this is the connector right here. This right here. All right. Once I get that tape off, basically if it's stuck like that, I'm getting it to where I can remove it, and just kind of gently pull it out. And then you're going to want to get this out the way, kind of. Now I'm ready to get the screen out, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be some screws on the side here. Yep, there's a couple screws on each side. We're going to take those out. All right, and there is an example of a shorter screw. So that screw is shorter than these other ones. So you want to separate them in your tray, or if you have one of those mats. Or just remember that these 4 screws you're taking out are shorter than all the other ones that were holding the screen in. All right, I'm going to remove the other side. It's pretty much the same on both sides. Real simple job that you can do, like on this Amazon services. Real simple job. You go to somebody's house and do this. Pretty much, here's the screen. Now, this particular screen, as far as I know, I'm holding it up to the light, and it doesn't have any cracks or anything. But so your replacement screen, you know, this would be the new one. You're going to put it back in the same way, reverse order. And you can lower these down, the hinges. These are the hinges here. So some people will damage the hinge some kind of way, and you might have to come in and do a repair just on the hinges. So the hinges is a different job, and because you're going to have to actually open up the computer a little bit more to do the hinge job, but it's actually pretty simple too. All right, so what I'm going to do in reverse order, I'm putting the screws back into the, I'm going to call this the new screen. Make sure you're grabbing the correct screws. These are all shorter. If you end up with getting a long one, you should know it, because it'll bottom out and it won't go all the way in. It won't tighten up for you. All right, I'm going to flip this around. And get to this other side, get the screws in. Is that you, Hopkins? Now, some of these screens, they're not, this is a Dell, all right? Some of these might have 3 or 4 screws on the side. It's not everyone's going to be the same. So, but this is a good example of pretty much how all of them are. Once you get underneath, once you get to the actual screen. All right, now that I've got the screen screwed in, I want to get my cables back to where they're supposed to be. The first one I'm going to do, because this one comes up and has some adhesive on it, I'm gonna get the actual cable in first. Can you guys see that? All right. All right, so the connector is right there. I'm just kind of holding that adhesive tape back. It's just a little connector. Once you'll feel it kind of seat in. I usually just kind of pull it in with the tape, and you'll see that it kind of seals up. It seals it up right there, and then you want to get your tape down. Now, if the tape doesn't hold, you want to have something. You want to have something as a backup either some type of electrical tape or something that will keep that in, because that'll be what happens next is if this doesn't hold, it's going to come loose, and as soon as they bump the computer, this little connection can come out. There's nothing really holding it in but this tape right here. All right. Now the next thing is I want to get this lined up for the back side of the camera. Any wires that might have came out of place, like the most time the wires you have going up the side are either going to be camera wires or Wi-Fi, things like that. This particular one has everything. It has the camera wire. It looks like the camera wire going up on the actual screen, and then this is probably this is the Wi-Fi cable that's going wrapping around like this. So make sure it gets back into where the grooves are. Sorry about that. And it's got little guides in there that show you where they're supposed to be. So, all right, that one. Get it in the right spot there. Because once you go to pop this back in, you don't want to have to be fighting with the cable might get in the way. All right. All right, so now I want to get this to where I'm going to raise the screen is on the hinges now, but I want to raise it up to where I can connect the camera cable back. So there's the camera cable. It's got the little port that it goes in. I'll probably just loosen that up and get it in the port. This one has a little more. It'll stay in once you get it in there. It's more of a plug to it. So that's in, and then I want to kind of get that thing laid where it's going to be correct. All right. So now that I've got the I'm gonna have to get that wire right because it's getting in the way, but let me get that right. I can feel it. It's not letting me push it in. Let me get it guided right here. I think that thing goes all the way around. Yeah. All right. Kind of make sure everything's in place before you try to seal it back up. It's being annoying. All right. So what you'll do is you're going to get your screws back in that connect the back. All right. All right, and what I'm doing is I'm working on this wire because it's being a little irritating. That's all right. Whatever you do, you don't want to force anything. And if you do the wrong thing on these wires and something gets tightened down and it shouldn't be tightened down on it, then it could cause it to malfunction. All right, so I've got that part where I want it. I'm going to start. The rest of the screws are all the same. So I'm going to get a couple in here just to kind of hold it. Maybe get one in the bottom and then one in the top. And then just work the rest of them in. Three more to go. It's probably good to have, if you have some old laptop or get a hold of some, to grab some sets of these screws just to have as extra, because if you drop one and you lose it, you want to be able to, you want to be able to replace it. So take a look at that. You can always get these spare screws. You can get sets of them, or you can recover them yourself from older laptops. All right, that is in. So the last thing, right, maybe at this point, when you put a couple of screws in, you can actually go ahead and do a test. Go ahead and power it on and make sure the screen comes on before you put everything back together. So maybe at the time when you put the first two screws in, just to hold it in place, go ahead and put the battery in and make sure that the screen comes on, the replacement screen comes on and it's working. As long as you got that video cable in, you should be good to go. Last thing is putting the bezel back on, and basically you just start like when you took it apart, and you can it'll snap in, and you'll hear it snapping in, and then sometimes what I'll do is I'll take a look at the actual edges of it, see if there's any gaps. If there's a little gap, you could just press it a little bit, and it will, that'll finish it up. Sometimes the bottom, I'll take a look at the bottom edge here and just press on it, and you'll hear it kind of clicking, and that's pretty good. You got it back in there, and it's snapped in. And that's pretty much it on the demonstration. You guys got any questions on anything that we went over, or anything that you might run into?
Is there any special packaging on the laptop screens when they come from Amazon?
Yeah. Amazon will send the laptops. It'll be in a lot bigger box than what the size of the screen is, and they'll usually have it'll be covered like this one is. It's got a cover on it, and it'll also be inside a anti-static bag.
Do you remove that film before you install?
I usually remove it right before I put the. Sometimes I'll take this tape and just peel it up and take it to the edge of where I can get to it. But if it still stays on there, I like to kind of leave it on there until I'm done, because I end up smudging it up. But you want to get it away from these the screw holes on the side. So if you can just roll the tape up like this, if not, some of these screens go all the way to the edge, then yeah, you can remove it. but just remember you might have to kind of wipe the screen off. So always have some type of anti-static rag with you to, to kind of just, if you see that you smudged it when you replace it, just kind of wipe off those smudges.
Got it.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Have you thought about possibly taping a business card to the back of the screen when you put it in? So if somebody else goes in, they know who did the repair?
Never thought
Or
of
if
that.
they have to go back in, they know who to call?
Never thought of that. It's a good idea, though.
You could do it to the back of the keyboard too, couldn't you?
Yeah. You do it about, I put stickers sometimes if I do when I do a computer, I usually put a sticker on it, and it has my little logo and my number on it. So it has the person's name on it too. So
There you go.
yeah, so I do that on even on laptops. I usually put it on the bottom or something somewhere where it's not, they're not just going to take it right off, because a lot of people don't like having they don't like having even these stickers here. Some people will remove them because they don't like having anything on their laptop. But that's the demonstrations. The biggest thing is getting the right. I'm going to tell you, the biggest thing is getting the right part. So if before a person, I'm going to switch it back to the other computer. Hold on one second.
I know the ones I've done, Mac, I've always verified that the part numbers match before I took the other one out.
That makes sense. That would save
When
you
you
a
get
lot
to
of
the point
time.
where you're getting ready to undo hinges, you can see the back of the screen to see what the part number is.
Yeah, you
Compared to
can.
the new part.
I've done it before where all I did was I'll take I'll take the bezel off, and like those screws that are on the top, and then look at that. I'll take my phone and take a picture of the model number just to make sure. But what people are doing is they're ordering this stuff themselves from Amazon. So I guarantee you, we're going to run into stuff where people ordered the wrong screen.
Where are the customers getting the model number for the screen when they're ordering them from Amazon? Is there some place that's
Probably ordering it off of their computer model.
They're ordering it based off of They're ordering it based off of the computer model.
Okay.
So
verify the part number? Got it.
I mean, the ones that I've done so far, they were right. So I just basically we're just starting this, and I got one on Friday, and
It's still recording.
Yeah, I'm still recording. Let me finish out the recording. All right, this has been a demonstration for TTT Enterprises. My name is Tim. Thanks to John and Kaylin for being on, and appreciate that. And I'm gonna stop the recording this time. But you guys have any questions? Definitely call me. You can look at this video as many times as you want, and